Greetings, everybody. Hey, welcome to another Thoughtful Thursday. I am your host, Jack Randall. Each week, I'm so excited to offer you new tips, tools, and insights to help you discover, understand, and pursue your calling with a passion to find new joy, meaning, and fulfillment in life. Please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you can to get the word out. I just want to help as many people as possible. This week, we're going to look at part 4 of 8 in a series, Your 5-Year Personal Success System. In other words, in 5 years, what do you want your life to look like? What's your end goal in 5 years? What's that picture? I love this quote. It's an old Japanese proverb, and it goes like this. Vision without action is a daydream. Action without vision is a nightmare. In other words, we need both vision and action. We need a plan, and that's what we're going to talk about this week. Just want to bring you up to speed and recap where we are so far in this series. In part 1, I urged you to consider the components. Remember, we looked at that model car. We looked at the parts. We looked at the box, the vision, if you will. And we also looked at the instructions a little bit. I urged you in part 2 to create your 5-year vision. In other words, it's kind of like the box in that model car. How to begin to paint a detailed word picture of your expectations. 5 years from now, what do you want the future to look like for your life? In other words, it's a written definition of what success looks like for you. And then last week in part 3, I urged you to carefully choose the pieces. Just like in that model car, familiarize yourself with what the pieces of the next 5 years look like. Do you want to pay the price? Is it worth the effort? What do I want? What work am I willing to put in? So familiarize yourself with what you'd need to accomplish that 5-year vision. This week, I've entitled this segment, Part 4, Construct Your 5-Year Plan. In other words, what are the assembly instructions for the next 5 years? If I'm really to achieve that vision that I set forth, just like in that proverb, if I just think about it, nothing's going to happen. I have to actually do the things that are needful to bring that to reality. So let me give you the big picture here, and then I can explain the details, if you will. I'm talking about constructing your overall written plan of action. What are you going to do each year to achieve that 5-year vision? So if we're looking at 2021 now, what am I going to do in the year 2021? What am I going to do in 2022? What am I going to put off and do in 2023, 24, 25, so that we end up with, if you have the vision date of January 1st of 2026, what does success look like? So we're going to figure out that plan. This overall plan I'm going to talk about today actually consists of 5 annual action plans, just one a year, one for each of those 5 years, that will outline what I need to do if I'm going to achieve that vision for my life. Remember, each of those annual action plans should reflect several things. First of all, who's the owner on this? Well, if we were talking about a corporate business plan, we'd name the individuals. But in this case, the owner is you. Unless somebody else is going to help you with it, you would be the owner. The second thing was, what order are we going to do? What's the most important thing? If we're going to build a house, we got to lay the foundation first, right? Can't start building the house and putting a foundation under it down the road. Same thing for in the 5 years. What do I need to be working on in this first year to achieve that 5 years down the road? Next thing, measurement. How are we going to measure things? I've seen too many plans, personal plans or corporate plans, that say, well, I'm going to do a better job of, or I hope to. No. It's what specifically am I going to achieve? How many? How much? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? There's specific things that I can measure. And then lastly, what is the timing? What is the start time for this or that thing that I have to do? And what is the stop time? When does the project, what is this I'm working on here, when does it begin and end? And maybe some of those things will spill from year to year. But I want you to think about, what do I need to do if we're looking at a January 1st of 2026 plan? What do I need to be working on in the year 2021? So that 2021 would be your annual action plan. So, first step, if you will, when we're getting into the weeds here, I would say go back to that 5-year vision. Remember we talked about that a couple sessions ago? If you need to revisit that, go back to my website, windmillleadership.com, and you can see that segment that I put up there. But I would encourage you, go back to your 5-year vision that you wrote out. And then, because that's in your Word document, bump it over just a little bit. And then for each of those characteristics you put on there, if that's what the vision is, what year do I need to do that particular thing that I'm talking about? So that's where your vision becomes so helpful. The plan becomes easy because when you see the vision, what do I need to do and what order I need to do it in becomes so helpful for you. It pretty much falls into place. But assign a year to each of those aspects that you would like to do. Now, if you find out you have way too many things in one particular year, go back and refigure the years, because this is a 5-year plan. You have to live. You have to enjoy life in 5 years. It shouldn't be a harness to buckle you in. It should be, as long as you're doing step by step by step by step, this thing will come together. But you don't have to do it all in 1 year. So if you find out too many things are in 1 year, go back and spread it out again. If you find out there's too many things in too many years and you're saying, there's no way I can do that, then go back to your vision and pare it back. But in other words, if we're going to achieve this in 5 years, if that's what it looks like, we have to make sure that it's actually doable. And that's why the beauty is. So go back to your 5-year vision, assign a year to each one of those, and that becomes what you need to work on in that particular year to achieve the ultimate vision in 5 years. I can just stop here and say, as long as you have a plan, write it out, figure out what you're going to do each of those 5 years, and done. I want to go a little deeper with you, not to get too far into the weeds, but I want to help you, actually give you an example. If you want to, you can use what I call, and what I've entitled, the GOAT system. G-O-A-T. So what's that acronym stand for? It's actually goals, or goal. Objectives is the O. A are the actions, and T are the tasks. Let me just briefly go into that. Put that down in a Word document. G-O-A-T. Goals, objectives, actions, and tasks. The goal is just, what am I hoping to accomplish at 50,000 foot in the next 5 years? What am I trying to accomplish? Am I looking at retire? I want to be retired by January 1st of 2026. Maybe that's your goal. Maybe it's to become financially independent. Maybe that's your goal. Maybe it's to restore your physical health. Maybe it's to achieve some type of college degree. I don't know what it is. But at a big overall arching thing, what am I working on in the next 5 years at 50,000 foot? Let's assume that you want to be retired by January 1st, 2026. Maybe that's your goal, 50,000 foot. Then under the goal, what are your 3 to 5 objectives? How will I measure that goal? What does that goal mean? How will I measure success? Maybe you will be looking at things like income. Well, if we're talking about retirement, absolutely that would be one of them. Maybe it would be weight. Well, how much do I weigh? How much do I have in savings? How much do I have in passive retirement income? What do I have for investment income? Do I need to have sold some property? How much will that bring in? All those are specific and they are measurable, aren't they? So put down which of the 3 to 5 things that actually define that I'm retired in 2026. Let's look at some objectives and actions. In other words, what are the baby steps that I need to do to be retired by January 1st of 2026? Sorry to repeat myself, but I think you're getting the. What are the things that I have to do? Let's say I need to have. I mentioned one of my objectives was to have a sale of my business or my assets. In other words, what are the actions I have to do to actually do that? What would I need to do in 2021 to pull that off by 2026? And then I would put those down, and the tasks are actually little baby steps. What do I need to do that? Again, I don't want to give you too much information on that'll bore you. But if you look at and use the GOAT acronym, it can be very, very helpful as you do as you put together a plan for 2026. The nice thing about having some type of timeline, and I can supply you, please get a hold of me at jack@windmillleadership.com. I do have actually a timeline that you can use if you're interested in putting something like this together. It'll help you organize your thoughts. Again, give you an order. It'll help you that you can identify what are the little things that I'm going to be doing, where would I put in my objectives, and how would I do that. So if you want one, let me know. I'd be happy to send it off to you with that template. Think of your 5-year personal success annual action plan that we're talking about here as your 5-year business plan, if you will, for your life. You've likely been involved with business planning in your corporate life. This would be for your personal life. So think of your goal and your objectives. Those are not going to change for 5 years. But of course, your actions and your tasks will. So your G and the O is really your 5-year success or business plan, and your actions and tasks are those things that you're working on each year. So your actions and tasks will change each year as you put together your annual action plan, but your goal and objectives will not. Couple secrets here I just want to point out. Focus on your actions and tasks, not your goals and objectives. Too many people look at the big picture as that's their goal. It is, don't get me wrong. But spend your attention going on, when do I need to do those little baby step tasks that we talked about? If I spend my time doing that, they will support the actions, which will support each of the objectives, which will support my overall goal. But I need to focus on the baby steps, not on the big picture, or I'll tend to get overwhelmed. The other beauty of this is that it helps you remind you of why I'm doing it. It's because of that overarching goal. But it should also give you peace. If I was to look at putting together that model car, remember we talked about, and I look at it and say, wow, there's 32 steps in this thing. I'm never going to get there. No. Just look at going from step 1. Accomplish step 1. Check it off the list. Go to step 2. What are those things? And pretty soon you're going to achieve that vision that you had in the beginning. So it should help you pace yourself and not get overwhelmed. In closing, remember, construct your 5-year plan. Go back and forth with your vision. This may be a little bit of a messy process. You may find that my vision was too aggressive. That's okay. Pare back the vision so you can actually live with the plan. If you find out that the plan is way too easy, I'm barely doing anything, I could sure do this a lot faster, then ratchet up the vision. You can go back and forth and then make it suit your needs. Remember, vision without action is a daydream. Action without vision is a nightmare, and it really holds true when it comes to your personal life 5 years from now. Remember, your chances of arriving at success in your future is much more likely when you drive your life and not just sit there and ride along. How can I help? If you're struggling to get from here to there in your calling or need help in your personal life, I can help. Give me a call contact me at jack@windmillleadership.com. I'd love to help. Again, as I always close, if you know your maker, the best is yet to come. Thanks, everybody. Take care.